Talking Parrot. Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a little girl named Maya. Maya loved animals and had a special fascination for birds. One day, while exploring the nearby forest, Maya stumbled upon a colorful parrot sitting on a branch. To her surprise, the parrot started talking. "Hello there, Maya," it greeted her. Maya's eyes widened in astonishment. "Wow! You can talk?" she asked the parrot, her excitement growing. "Yes, indeed," replied the parrot. "I'm a magical parrot with the ability to speak. I can also grant wishes." Maya couldn't believe her luck. She thought for a moment and said, "Dear parrot, I wish to become the best singer in the world." The parrot nodded and said, "Your wish is my command." From that day onward, Maya discovered her incredible singing talent. She practiced diligently, singing beautiful melodies that enchanted everyone who listened. Her voice soared high in the air, spreading joy and happiness throughout the village. As news of Maya's extraordinary singing talent spread far and wide, a famous music producer heard about her. He invited Maya to perform at a grand concert in the city. Maya was overjoyed and accepted the opportunity. The day of the concert arrived, and Maya took the stage with confidence. As soon as she started singing, the audience was captivated by her sweet and melodious voice. People cheered, clapped, and praised her incredible talent. Maya's dream had come true, and she had become a renowned singer. She thanked the talking parrot for granting her wish and helping her discover her hidden talent. Maya continued to share her gift with the world, spreading happiness through her music. And as for the talking parrot, it remained Maya's faithful friend, always by her side, encouraging her and reminding her of the power of her voice. And they lived happily ever after, singing and bringing joy to people's hearts. Tree and Flower Story. Once upon a time, there was a tall tree named Tim and a pretty flower named Rosie. They lived in a sunny garden together. Tim was a strong and sturdy tree with branches. He provided shade to the animals that visited the garden and sheltered them from the rain. Rosie, on the other hand, was a small and delicate flower with petals. He loved to bloom in the warm sunlight and spread her sweet fragrance all around. Tim and Rosie were good friends and enjoyed spending time together. They would chat and share stories as the wind gently rustled through Tim's leaves. One day, Rosie felt sad because she thought she wasn't as important as Tim. She wished she could be tall like him and provide shelter to the animals too. Tim noticed Rosie's sadness and said, "Oh, dear Rosie, don't be sad. You have your own special qualities that make you wonderful just the way you are." Rosie smiled and looked up at Tim. "Do you really think so?" she asked. Tim nodded and replied, "Absolutely. We are all different, and that's what makes the garden so beautiful. You don't need to be tall to be important. Just being yourself and spreading happiness is a great gift." Rosie's petals perked up, and she felt happy again. She realized that she didn't have to be like Tim to make a difference. From that day on, Rosie embraced her uniqueness and bloomed with confidence. The animals in the garden would gather around her, admiring her beauty and enjoying her lovely scent. Tim continued to stand tall and strong, providing shade and shelter to his friends. He admired Rosie's ability to bring happiness to others, and they both cherished their friendship. Together, Tim and Rosie showed everyone in the garden that it doesn't matter if you're big or small, what matters is being true to yourself and bringing joy to those around you. And so, the garden flourished with trees and flowers, each appreciating their own special qualities. They lived harmoniously, celebrating diversity and understanding that everyone has something unique to offer, no matter their size. A short story. Who is happy? This story teaches us not to let go of our happiness by comparing ourselves with someone else. Once a crow looked at a dove and thought how beautiful the dove is. She had all white feathers whereas the crow was black. The crow expressed his thoughts to the dove. The dove replied, "According to her, parrot is the most beautiful bird as it has two colors and the dove had just one." Next, the crow approached the parrot who simply said peacock is more beautiful than him as it is multiple colored. When the crow expressed his thoughts to the peacock replied, "My dear crow, you are the luckiest bird on this planet as you are never caged." On hearing this, the crow thought how foolish he had been and thanked God for making him the way he was. Moral: never compare yourself to others. Be happy in what you are and what you have. Moral of the story: stay calm to find solutions. Monkeys and the cap seller. Once upon a time, in a small village, there was a cap seller named Jack. He had a big bag full of colorful caps that he carried on his head and sold in different towns and markets. One sunny morning, Jack set out on a journey to the nearby town to sell his caps. As he walked through a dense forest on his way, he felt tired and decided to take a short nap under a shady tree. Before lying down, he placed his cap bag beside him and dozed off. Unbeknownst to Jack, a group of mischievous monkeys lived in the same forest. They were curious little creatures and loved to explore new things. When they saw the cap seller sleeping, they quietly came down from the trees and gathered around the bag of caps. Curiosity got the better of the monkeys, and one of them decided to try on a red cap. Soon, all the monkeys were wearing colorful caps on their heads, imitating the cap seller. When Jack woke up from his nap, he was shocked to see the monkeys wearing his caps. He tried to shoo them away, but the monkeys were playful and quick, jumping from tree to tree while still wearing the caps. Jack knew he couldn't catch the nimble monkeys, so he thought of a clever plan. He took off his own cap, held it in his hand, and threw it on the ground. To his amazement, the monkeys copied him and threw their caps on the ground too. With the monkeys now distracted by their own caps, Jack quickly gathered his caps and put them back in his bag. Feeling relieved, Jack continued his journey to the nearby town. Moral: stay calm to find solutions. Short story: The True Friend. Once there were two friends, a duck and a hen. They used to live and play together. The hen was very sporty and always won the game. The duck used to feel bad and thought that it was of no use. One day, it started raining heavily. The hen was in high spirits. He started doing antics but suddenly lost his balance and fell in the water. He called his friend, the duck, for help. The duck came to his rescue. The duck climbed on his back and reached a safe place. He thanked his friend for saving his life. Moral: always have confidence in yourself. Everyone is unique in his own way. Zebra and Giraffe. Once upon a time, in the heart of the African savannah, there were two best friends, Zack the zebra and Jerry the giraffe. They lived together in a cozy part of the jungle and spent every day exploring and having fun. One sunny morning, as they were playing hide and seek, Zack got himself stuck in a deep hole. He tried to wiggle and squirm, but he couldn't get out. "Help, Jerry! I'm stuck!" Zack called out in distress. Hearing his friends cry for help, Jerry quickly rushed to the rescue. With his long neck and strong legs, he reached down into the hole and gently pulled Zack out. "Thank you, Jerry. You're the best friend ever," Zack said with a big smile. From that day on, they became even closer friends. They laughed and played together, and whenever one needed help, the other was there to lend a hand. They knew that they could always rely on each other. One afternoon, while they were exploring a faraway part of the jungle, they came across a group of playful monkeys. The monkeys were chasing their tails and looked like they were having lots of fun. Zack and Jerry watched with fascination, but when they tried to join in, the monkeys laughed and said, "You can't play with us. You're not like us." Feeling a little sad, Zack and Jerry walked away. But then they saw a baby monkey stuck in a tree, crying for help. Without hesitation, Jerry used his long neck to reach up and rescue the baby monkey, gently placing it back on the ground. The other monkeys were amazed and grateful. They realized that Zack and Jerry were kind and helpful friends. "You saved our baby. We're sorry for being mean," the monkeys said, feeling ashamed of their earlier behavior. From that day on, Zack and Jerry became friends with the monkeys too. They all played together, having fun and helping each other whenever needed. The jungle became a happier place with their friendship and kindness. As time passed, more animals in the savannah heard about Zack and Jerry's helpful nature, and they wanted to be friends too. The wise old elephant, the clever meerkats, and the friendly zebras all joined their circle of friends. Zack and Jerry were thrilled to have so many friends, and they realized that being helpful and kind brought them joy and made their friendship stronger. And so, Zack the zebra and Jerry the giraffe lived happily ever after, surrounded by a big family of friends who loved and cared for each other. The moral of the story: a true friend is always there to help in times of need. The Greedy Dog. Once upon a time, there was a dog named Buddy who lived in a small village. Buddy was always hungry and constantly on the lookout for food. One day, he saw a juicy bone lying outside a butcher's shop. Unable to resist the temptation, Buddy snatched the bone and ran off to enjoy his meal in peace. But there was a catch. In his haste, Buddy had to cross a narrow bridge over a river to get back to his cozy corner. As he reached the middle of the bridge, he happened to glance down into the water. To his surprise, Buddy saw his own reflection in the water, and he mistook it for another dog holding an even bigger bone. His greedy nature took over, and he thought, "I want that bone too. I should have both bones for myself." Without thinking, Buddy let go of his bone and barked loudly, hoping to scare away the other dog and claim its bone as well. But as he barked, the bone slipped from his mouth and fell into the river, disappearing forever. Buddy's heart sank with regret. He realized his foolish mistake. His greed had cost him the bone he had already possessed. He felt empty and sad, knowing he had nothing to eat now. From that day forward, Buddy learned a valuable lesson about greed. He understood that being content with what he had was more important than wanting more. He vowed never to be greedy again and to appreciate the things he already had. Buddy returned to the village with his head hanging low, humbled by his experience. The villagers, who had witnessed the incident, forgave him and offered him food out of kindness. Buddy wagged his tail gratefully, thankful for their understanding and generosity. From then on, Buddy lived a simpler and happier life, cherishing every meal and sharing his food with other hungry animals in need. And in the hearts of the villagers, Buddy became known as a wise and humble dog who had learned the importance of contentment and gratitude. And so, Buddy's story serves as a reminder to all of us that greed can lead to loss, but gratitude and contentment bring true happiness. Peacock and Parrot. Once upon a time in a lush forest, there lived a colorful parrot named Polly and a majestic peacock named Peter. They were best friends and always found joy in each other's company. Polly, the parrot, had vibrant feathers in shades of purple, blue, and yellow. She had a cheerful personality and loved to chatter all day. Peter, the peacock, had a magnificent tail with feathers that shimmered in hues of blue, green, and gold. He was proud of his beauty and enjoyed displaying his feathers to anyone who cared to watch. As they strolled along, they came across a group of forest animals gathered near a pond. One sunny morning, Polly and Peter decided to explore the enchanted forest together. They hopped from branch to branch, discovering the hidden treasures of nature. Polly and Peter listened attentively as each animal showcased their unique features and talents. When it was their turn, Polly, the parrot, with her lively spirit, began to imitate the sounds of various forest creatures. She chirped like a cricket, croaked like a frog, and even hooted like an owl. The animals were captivated by her ability to mimic them so accurately. Then it was Peter's turn. With grace and elegance, he spread his magnificent tail feathers in a grand display. The animals gasped in awe at the breathtaking sight. Peter's feathers shimmered and glowed in the sunlight, creating a mesmerizing spectacle. When the contest came to an end, the animals gathered to decide the winner. It was a tough decision because each contestant had their unique charm. After much deliberation, they reached a unanimous verdict. Both Polly and Peter were declared the winners. The animals realized that beauty could be found in various forms and expressions. Polly's ability to mimic others and bring joy with her cheerful nature was beautiful in its own right. From that day forward, Polly and Peter became a symbol of friendship and acceptance in the forest. They taught the animals that beauty lies not only in appearances but also in the kindness, talents, and uniqueness that each creature possesses. And so, the parrot and the peacock continued their adventures, spreading joy and friendship throughout the enchanted forest, reminding everyone that true beauty comes from within, and that we should embrace and celebrate our differences. Who will bell the cat? Once upon a time, in a small village, a group of mice lived in constant fear of a crafty and cunning cat. The cat was swift and sneaky, and the mice were unable to move freely or find food without the cat pouncing on them. The mice held a meeting to discuss their predicament and came up with a plan to rid themselves of the cat's tyranny. A brave and wise mouse named Whiskers proposed a solution. He suggested that they put a small bell around the cat's neck, so they would be able to hear it coming and run away in time. The idea thrilled the other mice, and they all agreed that it was a brilliant plan. However, they faced a new problem: who would be courageous enough to approach the cat and place the bell around its neck? The mice looked at one another, but none of them volunteered. They were afraid of the cat's sharp claws and teeth. Though small and inexperienced, Oliver was determined to help his fellow mice overcome their fear. Oliver said, "I might be small, but I am not afraid. I believe we can succeed if we work together." His bravery inspired the other mice, and they decided to support him. They devised a plan where Oliver would distract the cat while the others sneaked up and attached the bell. The next day, Oliver bravely approached the cat. He darted in and out, teasing and taunting the cat to keep its attention focused solely on him. Meanwhile, the other mice stealthily made their way toward the cat. It was a risky endeavor, but their determination pushed them forward. As Oliver continued to distract the cat, one of the mice managed to slip the bell around its neck. The bell jingled softly, and the cat was startled. It tried to paw at the bell but couldn't remove it. Realizing that it had been outsmarted, the cat ran away in frustration. The mice rejoiced, cheering for Oliver and the successful outcome. They were finally free from the cat's reign of terror. Oliver's bravery and the collective effort of the mice had paid off. From that day on, the mice lived happily and without fear, knowing that they had banded together to overcome their greatest challenge. The story of Who Will Bell the Cat teaches children the value of courage, teamwork, and thinking creatively to solve problems. It encourages them to face their fears and work together to achieve their goals, no matter how daunting the task may seem. Chicks and Hen. Once upon a time, on a beautiful farm, there lived a mother hen named Henrietta and her 3 little chicks, Daisy, Rosie, and Billy. They were a happy family who loved to explore the farm together. Every day, Henrietta would wake up early and cluck loudly to wake up her little chicks. They would all gather around her as she taught them important lessons about life on the farm. One sunny morning, Henrietta told her chicks that it was time for them to learn how to find their own food. She explained that they needed to scratch the ground with their feet to uncover tasty worms and insects. Excited and eager to learn, the little chicks followed their mother around the farm. Daisy went first and scratched the ground, but she only found a tiny worm. Rosie tried next, and with a bit more determination, she found a big juicy worm. The little chicks cheered for Rosie, and Henrietta told her how proud she was. Finally, it was Billy's turn. He was a bit nervous because he hadn't found any worms yet. But he remembered what his mother had said about not giving up. With newfound confidence, Billy scratched the ground with all his might. And guess what he found? A big, wriggly earthworm that made everyone cheer with joy. As they explored the farm, the little chicks discovered new things every day. They met friendly cows, playful sheep, and even a mischievous cat. With their mother's guidance and love, Daisy, Rosie, and Billy grew up to be strong and confident chickens. And so, the story of the little chicks and their loving hen, Henrietta, spread throughout the farm, inspiring other animals to work together, learn, and Doan Ant. Once upon a time a very thirsty ant was drinking water from the river. Suddenly the ant lost his balance and fell into the river. "Help! Help!" cried the ant. But no one could hear his cries. A dove, sitting on a tree nearby, saw that the ant in trouble. She quickly plucked off a tree and dropped it into a river. The ant climbed on the leaf. He thanks the dove for saving his life. After a few days, the dove was sitting on a tree. The ant saw a hunter aiming his arrow at the dove. The ant knew that Hoy's friend, the dove, was in danger. He quickly bit the hunter's leg. The hunter cried in pain. The hunter's arrow missed the dove. This time Ant saved the dove. The dove thanked the ant for saving her life. And they became friends forever. Moral of the story: one good deed deserves another.